Hey guys, how you going? Okay, sorry I was nowhere to be seen yesterday. I had a migraine actually and couldn't do anything but lay in bed. And it was still hurting. Mike Lee said, is the DNC going to make every delegate present a racial pedigree providing blood quantum to establish eligibility to participate in each caucus? Because, Libs of TikTok have said, scheduled for tomorrow at the DNC, which is today, they're holding segregated sessions and meetings for attendees. The Party of Anti-Racism and Unity is having a Black caucus meeting, a Hispanic caucus meeting, an AAPI caucus meeting, a Native American caucus meeting, and an ethnic council meeting. They can't have one that encompasses the whole lot. They have to have different ones for different people. Okay, Tom Fitton said hypocrisy on full display. DNC erects massive wall around convention and mandates ID for entry, yet opposes border security and voter ID laws. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Okay, we've got Kamala. Okay, there's a bit of stuff going on around her. The opinionated black woman auntie said, sadly, I know drunks growing up around alcoholism. You know the behaviour and this is it. Rambling on with shit. Chuck Costello said, shock report. Multiple law enforcement officers stepped forward, revealing Kamala was intoxicated in this video. She would be charged with a DUI if she was behind the wheel of a vehicle. Now, watch this. This is unbelievable.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy, I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy. When it's intact, it's so strong.
Who put the bloody music behind it?
In terms of what it does to uphold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it's very fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Because when we...
Yep, she definitely looks drunk, sounds drunk to me, I don't know. I just wish the person had not put the music over the top. We'll see what happens. Melissa Tate said the price gouging lie debunked. Cost of energy, labour, food productions are up. Food companies have razor-thin margins, less than 3%. Politicians want a scapegoat. Here's your price gouging narrative. Average costs paid by businesses have risen just as much as costs charged to consumers. If businesses are being greedy, they're doing it all wrong. Allegedly, apparently. The government are just giving companies as well a whole lot of red tape and other things. That, you've got to pay for environmental things and this and that and everything else. Matt Couch said Charlie Kirk crushes this. Wow. I can't talk today, apparently, as well. Let's have a listen.
What do you think is the best way to combat homelessness, as we have a problem with that in Seattle?
So don't put up with it. So basically, the streets are not your home. Give them mental health help, but don't put up with it. Zero. And I'll tell you why. You guys should all be so insulted. What happened when the MLB All-Star Game came to Seattle?
They cleared them all out.
They cleaned up the streets. But then all of a sudden, once the MLB All-Star Game left Seattle, they stopped caring. It is an act of the will. That is one of the greatest examples I have for you of how much your leaders hate you. And they hate the homeless people too, which is like, the whole world is coming here with a lot of cameras. We want to make Seattle seem like it's kind of clean for the All-Star Game. So we're going to temporarily clean it up for a couple weeks. And then afterwards, we just don't care. So your leaders can do it. They did it. The streets were way cleaner when the All-Star Game was here. I was here for it. It was actually a lot better. And then 2 weeks later, it was, as soon as they left, it was over. So don't put up with it. The streets are not your home.
What do you think is the best way to combat homelessness, as we have?
There you go. That was actually very well said. They can do it. They just don't want to. Matt Couch said they're boarding up businesses in Chicago for the DNC this week. Strange they didn't do this in Milwaukee when the RNC was in town. Okay, there's more on that. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. Can't read that one here. Oz Integrity, I have no words that could adequately describe how morally bankrupt and corrupt Labor governments are. Bucks for bureaucrats. Palace hands each public servant $5,600 to ease the cost of living in a $300 million taxpayer gift. Victorian public servants are set to share in $300 million of a one-off cost of living payment as businesses and households brace for the prospect of increased taxes. but only to the public servants. Okay? Those, including those earning up to $240,000 a year. After Fair Work Commission this week formally approved it. Oh my God, the Fair Work Commission is just the opposite of what it says it is. The Saturday Herald can reveal the bonus payments will also be made to former employees who've left the public service since June 28, including senior executives who scored up to $100,000 in redundancy payments. So they're just ripping off taxpayers left, right and centre now. Baltimore police, suspect identity sought in reference to the assault of a 74-year-old male, which I saw, it was horrible, who later died at an area hospital. Investigators need your help identifying the suspect, seen in these photos. Anyone with information on the identity of this suspect is urged to contact investigators at 410-396-2100 or Metro Crime Stoppers at 1-8667-LOCKED-UP. This guy, assault, it was murder. Will you be classifying it as an assault for your stats? Not a bad point. Assaulting a person who later died because of said assault is murder. I didn't think I'd have to tell the police that. Anyway, this guy started attacking a man, a 74-year-old male who had his little dog with him, and pushed him over and everything, and it was just, I didn't like, I'm not going to show it because it's not nice. Yeah, it made me feel bad. I can't show that one here, but I will do it on Rumble tomorrow. I've just done a video on Rumble of the Rothschilds. I finished it. The Rothschilds, the banking system, how wars are started, all that sort of stuff. Old Soldier said the government has spent millions on a CEO and admin, etc., hasn't built a single house. CFMEU. Claire O'Neill, MP here in Australia, said, your ability to buy a home shouldn't be determined by your parents' wealth. That's why we have to build more homes and get our legislation to help first home buyers passed in Parliament. So they're just going to have meetings, more meetings of trying to, talking about building homes. Because they're letting in so many immigrants too. They're not going to be able to do it. Even if they do build that many homes, all the new immigrants are going to take them. Okay, we have opinionated black woman auntie. This is murder, plain, pure and simple. The Queensland inquiry into babies born alive after abortion has just begun, and the committee's just heard shocking evidence from a courageous Queensland midwife, Lou Adsett, who said she's witnessed babies being left to die in her hospital. Because the abortion doesn't always go well. And sometimes the baby's still alive. And they just leave it. Old Soldier said more all expenses paid meetings that will fix nothing. Yeah, here we go. Claire O'Neill on housing. The Liberal National Government are nowhere to be seen. For 5 years they didn't hold a single meeting with state and territory housing ministers. Not one. That's all they're going to do, is just hold meetings. Labor's taking a very different approach. Yeah, they're spending all our tax money on meetings. That's all they're good for, these people. Sitting, eating, drinking, meetings, that's it. They don't do anything. Tim Young said Democrats wanted to fund the police unless the police are surrounding DNC to protect them. Look at all the police. They're all on bikes too. Wow. Eh? Okay, Malcolm Roberts. Remember when something goes wrong in the circus, they send in the clowns to distract the audience? Well, something has gone very wrong with this circus and the clowns are everywhere right now, let me tell you. Okay, question. It's become clear another scandal is unfolding in immigration. Some of the 1,300 Palestinian tourist visas have been revoked as a result of alleged criminal activity. Burko is in cover-up mode and he's yelling at everyone too. He's panicking. These dumbasses, I swear. Rothmas said 8 months ago Argentinian President Javier Milei was removed the rent control policies put in place by the prior leftist president. Since then, the supply of rental housing has skyrocketed by 195% in Buenos Aires, and the rental prices have plummeted. In other news, Kamala Harris has announced she will impose rent control policies. Don't let them do it. They've done it here in Australia, and they're trying. I don't know if they actually have, but It's insane. Don't. Okay, another meme we got here. Conspiracy bot. Spirit cooking or cooking our spirits? I said or cooking our. They just said spirit cooking, but I said or cooking our spirits because I think that's what it's doing. Okay, there's a difference between Islamic and Muslim. Muslims nowadays are now mostly non-practicing. Non-practicing Muslims pray once a week, either Friday or twice a year. Hardly touch the Quran, but Islam is a bit of an organisation there. I'm going to save that one for Rumble. Again, Dr. Russell McGregor said the greatest economic danger to society is the Bank of International Settlements and global central banks colluding with centralised unified ledger that has all your assets tokenised and integrated with CBDCs on their platform. These assets would also be programmable, such as they could be confiscated or frozen for political transgressions. You will own nothing and be happy. Do not let them trick you into this solution when the system crashes, okay? Don't let them do it. If the system crashes, just hang in there. That might be 10 days of darkness. You never know. Prosecute Dan Andrews said trying to live in Victoria is like, and Mr. Nobody said what it's like living with a corrupt government. You ready for this? Okay, we're ready to watch this. Hopefully there's no music, is there? Nope.
No.
Well, it pretty much is. What it's like living with a corrupt government. You try and do anything and it's like, right, okay, everything's gone. Oh, I ate the banana skin. It's going to eat all the chippies too, and the banana, and the sandwich. And dribbling everywhere as it does it. God. What a beautiful cow, though. It's not really. You know why? It's not really like living with a corrupt government, because that cow's cute. Our government's not cute. Okay, Matthew Kamanzuli said it's time to get Australia back. We have to get rid of Albanese government. They're slowly and rapidly destroying our country. Vote them out. Vote One Nation. It is impossible to see a person on his team that could do a better job. It's not a question of leadership when it comes to the ALP. It's all of them. It is competence, intent, intellect, and a lack of patriotism. I'd say incompetence, intent, and no intellect, and a lack of patriotism. They are all, to a man, to a woman, hopeless. Those that might be okay have a decade to run before they are leadership material. They lack the depth and breadth. They lack purpose and soul. The situation is rather desperate. Everyone I know is hurting badly. The pace of increase in the cost of living is just monstrous. We're being monstered. Insane and vapid social policy, the main debate at the forefront, treachery dressed as virtue while million-dollar NDIS packages are approved for young people with dementia and autism, a growing problem. They don't have solutions, just disasters dressed as problems, one after the other. The red team is about to be benched. That's nothing, though. In all reality, the solution for many is the blue team, the Liberals. Oh, we got it round the wrong way here in Australia. Our red team is Labor and our blue team is Liberals. Okay. They, being the alternative major party in a two-party preferred system, are right now the only alternative. I was in the Liberals until I was expelled. Their membership is mostly made up of great Australians. Peter Dutton, the leader, is much better than Albanese. I don't agree with all of his policy settings. I like his position on nuclear, his clear intent to cut immigration, and his desire to address productivity, to name a few. Not as happy with his internet and free speech policies. More needs to be done there, among other things. Yeah, like a complete turnaround. On balance, the Liberals are, in my view, the better choice, but for one glaring problem, the left wing of the party. I add Alex Hawke and his fake Conservative allies, people like Julian Leeser, Melissa McIntosh, Holly Hughes and others. They just confuse the message. The left faction of the party, filled to the brim with vested interests and slimy twits, is a careerist factory. It has controlled the New South Wales division of the party for over a decade now, and they've ruined it. The most recent so-called stuff-up over local council is just the tip of the desperately corrupt and utterly useless iceberg. I used to accept the broad church argument. I don't anymore. The left-wing who wish to be known as moderate are too extreme, too left-wing and too corrupt to be called anything other than hopeless. The hopeless faction. They act as though they have the key to electoral success as they bang on about climate change, the woman problem, increasing welfare, spending public money and draconian COVID responses. Nothing liberal, nothing Menzies about any of that. They are here for the cash, the board positions, the top end of town jobs. You know, the revolving door. You know, you go from a company into government, you do little favours and then you get a big job at that company. They also act as if they are professional and talented. Nothing could be further from the truth. Don Harwin is one of the best of them, and for mine, he's a complete embarrassment to the party and the people in it. Anyone defending his clear incompetence and nasty approach to those whose political careers he has stalled is obscene. The disrespect for people who've given their all to Australia is appalling. They call for unity, time to rectify, due process. No, they deserve none of it. Australia can no longer have two left-wing corrupt major parties. One of those is more than enough. The enemies of the people have expelled the best of the best from the party because they are the more talented and principled than they are. They have knocked them out of pre-selections because they can't beat them. They've stolen AGMs and corrupted the process more times than I can count. They are better suited to the CFMEU. Moreover, the rules they oversee are never applied to them. Photios always talks to the press, so does Turnbull, Keane. Further, if Rath's latest outburst in the upper house were targeted at a moderate, it would have seen him 21-6 forward out of the upper house next time. I don't know what that means, 21-6 forward. Just like what they did to my good friend Lou Amato, because he stood up to them. Lou is a better man than every one of the pelicans on the left, centre-right and fake-right, seriously corrupt faction, by a long way. Oh, so we got like rhinos here, people who say they are conservatives but aren't. I'm sick of seeing the good destroyed, so the vapid, smug and corrupt get the red carpet. Don Harwin, quit the party. Take your feckless band of talentless sludge who betray the people of Australia with you. Enough is enough. It's time. I just want Australia back. Me too, mate. My God. And I'm pretty sure the English want England back, and America wants America back, and Canada wants Canada back, and New Zealand wants New Zealand back, and we all want our countries back. Polly Bard said, okay, who did this? Cocoa pox, just like a COVID crisis, but with blisters. Oh my God. Oh no, what is this? Cat Turd said, is that an Adam Kinzinger? Chaya Raychek said, what do you notice about this beautiful liberal woman? I notice she's a very handsome woman, and she has an extra appendage that I don't think most women have. But anyway, Bunce said the Minister for Immigration and their morning coffee. Yeah, while the world burns around them, this is fine. We're doing fine. Okay, Joey Manarino said you don't have to imagine what a Kamala Harris presidency would be because you're living through it right now. Donald J. Trump. Yep. And David Marcus said, realising this was and continues to be a lie was a turning point for me, regardless of where you stand on this election. You should watch the video below and compare it with the spin pushed by the campaign, just to know you're being manipulated. Kamala Harris, headquarters. On this day 7 years ago, Donald Trump said white supremacists and neo-Nazis marching in Charlottesville were very fine people. Okay, let's have a listen to what he actually said.
And you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And you had some very bad people in that group.
And at the beginning he said, and you had some very bad people in that group that were neo-Nazis, but they try to say that he didn't say that. Okay, this is Michelle Langlois, who said, just in time for the election again, are you seeing a pattern? Virus, lockdowns, Antifa rights, blah, blah. Joanne said, eyes on Chicago this weekend. Now let's have a listen to what's going on here.
I'm not trying to fearmonger, but if you live in downtown Chicago or anywhere near downtown Chicago, you need to get out of the city. This, starting this weekend and all of next week, is going to be frickin' insane. And I hope it's not, but 30,000 international Antifa people have already showed up, and they're still showing up. 8 different groups have applied for permits to protest the DNC. Here's a list of those groups: Bodies Outside of Unjust Laws, U.S. Palestinian Community Network, Poor People's Economics, Students for Democratic Society, Israeli American Council, Reparations for Descendants of Enslaved Africa, March for People's Agenda, Chicago Alliance Against Racist Political Repression. People are not happy with Biden and Kamala from like any walk of life. Only select few people are. They've been the cause of the Israeli-Palestinian war. They've funded both sides. They're the cause of the Ukrainian-Russia war. They have skyrocketed inflation rates. They've left the border wide open. Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes and attacking people and unaliving people and raping. And I don't know who in their right mind would vote for Kamala after the mess in the world they've created. But I'm praying for Chicago, and I hope there's peace. But I think it's going to be really crazy and really dangerous. So I think 2020 riots, but on a whole other level.
I have a funny feeling she might be right. And I don't know if it's going to happen now or after the election. I don't know, but I've got a feeling, and we know it's coming. Z Van Fleet said, my name is Z Van Fleet. I'm 65 years old. In 81 days, I'll be voting against communism and for Donald Trump. Who's with me? She is a survivor of Mao's Cultural Revolution and a proud patriot. She'll be voting against communism and for Donald Trump. Naomi Siebert said, shocking confession, Biden wants to erase American history, put shame on the Constitution. If you don't want America, be communist, China's president instead. Biden said, we're rewriting history. What's this about?
And what I'm excited about, beyond the specifics of this, we're rewriting history. We're allowing history to be written what happened. So our children, our grandchildren, everybody understands what happened and what can still happen. Matter of fact, something happened here similar recently.
Oh, so they're rewriting history again, are they? Okay. That's what the Mandela effect is. You know that, don't you? Anyone who thinks about the Mandela effect, the only reason that's happening is because they're changing history. They're rewriting it. They tell us all the time. Liz Churchill said this piece of shit wants to enhance surveillance and use tools like vaccines. What an unelected murderer. Tedros. You know Tedros in his little shorts. He should be worried about MPox, I believe, but that's just my opinion. Identification of the first MPox clade 1b infection in Sweden underscores the need for affected countries to tackle the virus together. We encourage all countries to enhance surveillance, share data, and work to better understand the transmission. Share tools like vaccines and apply lessons learnt from prior public health emergencies of international concern in addressing the current outbreak. We're going to try it again. No, thank you. Not Elon Musk asked an important poll. Should he interview Putin live on X Spaces yet? Next. Yes or no? I reckon, and he should. Everyone should. Like, everyone should be allowed to speak, you know? Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. By the way, please go over to Rumble and check out my 2 parts in the Rothschild series. Okay, I've got to change the name of one of them from Call-In Show to the Rothschilds and Call-In Show. Okay, guys, have a good one, and I'll be back shortly. Bye.